Okay, what's up, guys? RevSauce TV here. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon for the latest and greatest that comes to my channel. Make sure to be checking all the show notes where I stream, donation links, referral links, everything down below for me, including the news article. So if you guys haven't heard, and I haven't been around in a minute because I've been sick and getting over a cold/flu, I got reinfected with the same stuff I already had. So game streams are coming back online. Everything with me is coming back online. I apologize that I haven't made a video or been consistent lately. I've just been sick. So we're back better than ever. All my social media and everything will be down below in the show notes. We have gameplay going on. I know some of you don't like that, but it's better than a still image with an animated background for me. I'm not going to do the whole green screen thing like some other channels do in the wrestling, IWC, YWC shit. Until I get bigger and, I get down with the editing a little bit better and I hone my craft a little bit when it comes to editing. We'll have an intro eventually into my channel eventually. So, stay tuned for that. But let's talk about Vince McMahon possibly resigning and being forced. I love how the dirt sheets and a lot of these wrestling channels, report on things. And so do I at times. And I feel sometimes, I just go along with the program sometimes and I give you guys clickbait titles. Sometimes they're juicy titles trying to just get the view. But, lately I've been honest, a lot of people are making this out to be like they're shocked in anything. I'm not shocked about Vince McMahon resigning. This should have happened months ago. He's been hurting the product even being there. Being executive chair is hurting what's going on. It's hurting the product bottom line. He should have resigned. Now with all the allegations coming out and all the stuff that's happening to him and Axios, putting in detail in the LA Times, pretty much referring to Axios and them furthering it in the timelines. There's a lot of allegations against Vince McMahon, and I think TKO is kind of just done. I think they want to move on from Vince. I think they got good things going on. They just signed a new TV rights deal for 2024 to have SmackDown on USA. I think we're going to see a lot of deals being done with Comcast / NBC / Universal. I think, I think Universal wants to keep pretty much Raw, NXT, and SmackDown, have the whole WWE package offered on Peacock. I think what they want to do eventually is move live events and stuff or live special shows over to Peacock. So that's why they did what they did with SmackDown. They want to control everything to do about WWE. You don't think Comcast and Universal and all that, want to not have the WWE, all of it, and sign them for big money, because WWE is a draw. However you slice it and dice it. They're number one for a reason in the world, next to AEW. Now, again, Vince McMahon, with the allegations that have come out. I'm not going to read you the whole article. You can go down and read it for yourself. There is a lot of allegations. I'll give you the short Cliff Notes version. Technically, he had his hand in a lot of different cookie jars. He's done a lot of things that honestly would make you go, wow. He swept a lot of things under the rug. It's not just the paying off women and all these sexual, innuendos out the door stuff. It's more like heavy, deep stuff like laundering to, making business deals. And it's just so much bad. And I get why TKO Holdings want to get away from him. And I totally get why he's bad news, bad weather right now, honestly, figuratively. And I think Vince McMahon should have gone a long time ago. Why was this not happening before the closure? Him being removed. You know what I mean? When they closed this whole merger, he should have been asked to step down to begin with. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a statement from Vince McMahon eventually of him stepping down. Or this could be all smokes and mirrors and all this shit, and it's typical WWE. And this could be typical, TKO or whatever, or Endeavor doing, splashy articles to get traction to their product, and we could be having a different conversation next week, Vince McMahon being head of creative, So again, I really hope it is Vince McMahon resigning. They don't need him. It obviously shows that they don't need him. I think, honestly, WWE will be fine without him. I think the TKO era of WWE will be great. There was other articles out there this week of Vince McMahon possibly not resigning and taking back the company, and this whole merger would be axed, and then he would take back full control of WWE and sell it at a higher price. And there was other articles coming out, so you don't know what's true. We were having this discussion in my friend's stream earlier, the PWO, Sergio Sapecci. We were having this conversation, and there's so many articles, there's so many different things, and as we were discussing in his stream and my stream earlier, is that with Vince McMahon, you never know. At the end of the day, that we could be having one conversation and the next minute could be changing, and that paradigm shift, we don't know. There's so many allegations. He's had so many hands of different cookie jars. He just looks like a tainted product. And I think, he's got to go. And I think with all the allegations and with all the shit that's going on, with all the payments, the hush money, everything that happened, it's time for him to go. I think, WWE is a better place without him. I don't think they need him. I personally, in my beliefs, think they're just fine with Nick Khan at the helm, Triple H doing creative, Shawn Michaels running NXT, with Nick Khan being at the helm too there, and having Nick Khan having his hands dirty in all three products. It's benefiting them. They're getting the highest ratings they've ever had in years. Storylines are doing well. They said they may go to a mature rating for this for WWE. They may bring back a little bit of what old school WWE was. They're saying they're going to be doing different things, and when you start hearing those things, it just looks like they're distancing themselves from Vince McMahon in this PG era, and it just looks like they're really, really done with Vince McMahon. And I could see it. They had a meeting last week in place about creative, about dealings and things like that, and I think they're just washing their hands clean of the situation, and I think they want to move forward in this new era. I think they're getting ready for the biggest WrestleMania they've ever done. I think TKO wants to have the biggest WrestleMania ever done. I think they want to outshine what happened at 39. They want to show why they are the best wrestling company in the world. And they want to sign juicy names and big names, and they're doing that with John Cena. Rumor has it Dave Bautista. Rumor has it, that they're going to bring back a lot of different stars. Rumor has it CM Punk. I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I like what WWE is doing right now. They are putting on good shit. They're doing good stories. They have a beginning, middle, and end. You didn't have that with Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, it was replay matches after replay matches. And it just looks like his time is done. He sold his company. I don't think he could fight that or refute a contract or refute what's going on. I think, the closure is done. They shook hands. That's that. And they signed off on the dotted line. And I think, Vince McMahon is doing his part. And I think he's going to go into the shadows. He needs to at this point. There is too much shit on Vince McMahon personally from all the hush money. If you read the articles, man, it's damning. And it's sad for somebody that was really at the top, during the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression and somewhat the PG era and did some really good shit. To have a fall from grace like this is so sad. Vince McMahon's going to go out with a damaged legacy. The end of it all. I really believe that. He's going to have a damaged legacy. We're going to look at him for the good stuff, and then there's going to be a lot of bad shit. And it's really sad for somebody that, I really enjoyed as a kid. I really enjoyed Vince McMahon Stone Cold. And, towards the end of this Vince McMahon era and him owning WWE, it's, to me, day by day, night by night, he's just looking like a tainted product. And I think Emmanuel, his best friend, as he calls, really good friend, I don't think they want to have that on their product. I think they're moving away from him. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back Stephanie McMahon at the helm at some point, being like a chief branding officer, or they bring her back as something. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised under this new TKO holdings and whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if Emmanuel doesn't bring her back. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring Shane McMahon in and put him in a spot. Not in creative, but maybe in a spot to where he's really good at. Maybe comes back as a wrestler. Maybe he comes back as a manager. Maybe he comes back as something. But I could see Stephanie coming in and having some type of role within this new company, within this new, era. I could see that. She's been very vocal about somewhat coming back. I could totally see Shane McMahon coming back. I think this new era of WWE, and you're starting to see it now. I'll have an honest opinion about the releases, but I understand the releases, and it makes sense. If you're not utilizing the talent and they're just dead weight and they're dead contracts, get rid of them. If you have nothing for them, get rid of them. You know what get them out. It's better than leaving them on the roster and paying them and wasting their time. You know what I mean? So that's my personal opinion on Vince McMahon possibly resigning. At the end of the day, Vince McMahon is his own downfall. If you look at the articles and you look at the timelines and you look at from the time he retired to coming back, selling company until now, and then him trying, supposedly rumors and speculation was he's doing all of this, in ploy to get the company back under his power and control. I don't think that's the case. I think Vince McMahon is tired. You could see that he has changed. He doesn't look healthy. He just went through major back surgery. It just looks like he's not healthy, and it just looks like everything's weighing on him. And it just looks like he's being audited hard, and it just looks like he's looking like he's in some serious trouble with the accusations. And I just think this new company, TKO Holdings or TKO, in general, and Artie Emanuel, I think that's what his name, or Emanuel in general, doesn't want to touch him. I think that's the meetings they're having. I think that, in honest opinion, I think WWE is better off without Vince. It's a better product. It shows. It just does. Triple H has an aura about him right now, and they're in cruise control right now, and I like what Triple H is doing. You'll have other YouTube channels saying, oh, Vince McMahon is still booking. It's Vince McMahon booking. It's this booking. Like I said, Triple H hasn't had, since he's taken over creative control, he really hasn't had a solid run as being creative. And if I'm Triple H now, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, or Hunter in general, I gotta be breathing a sigh of relief. I don't have to deal with my father-in-law. I don't have to deal with that shit. I could book the way I want. Emmanuel's letting me book. Nick Khan's letting me book. And then I get a little input from Nick Khan, and I've heard the chemistry between them is just off the charts. And you see it. Nick Khan is doing Nick Khan things. That's why Vince put him there. And even The Rock has said things about Nick Khan in positivity. Like, he has a great mind for the product. And you're seeing that with NXT. You're seeing that with how Raw is kind of changing. You're seeing that. That's Nick Khan. Nick Khan is now being able to freeform and do what he needs to do. I wouldn't be surprised if he brings back Stephanie. He did state that he's sad how that ended with Stephanie not being co-CEO. I wouldn't be surprised if she came back under some type of, role. I wouldn't be surprised if they signed CM Punk. I wouldn't be surprised. Nick Khan's about the draw. He's about making money. And you see it. Now, CM Punk, I do see him coming back to WWE. How they're going to do it, they've been playing it off. I wouldn't be surprised. He's a draw. He'll make them the money they need. And I wouldn't be surprised they sign him. I wouldn't be surprised by Survivor Series. I wouldn't be mad over it, really, to be honest, because WWE seems like the logical place for him. I never thought CM Punk was happy in AEW. I think for a short period he was, but I don't think he was happy. I think he wants to end his career in the Hall of Fame in WWE. I've always said he was, even after WWE did him dirty the first go around with him, I think somewhat he wanted to be back at WWE. It's odd like that. And, Vince has been on the record talking about that kind of shit, how wrestlers will come back after they've had a bad dispute or an issue with said product and stuff like that. So, at the end of the day, WWE's trending in the right ways, in a positive direction. They just brought Survivor. They're doing Elimination Chamber in Australia. That's a big stadium. They're going to be doing major stadiums. They're going to be making their money. And the WWE, there's a reason why they're number one in the world. And the reason why a lot of wrestlers want to be there. the structure. They're changing the work environment, things like that. They're getting rid of a lot of the fat. They have to. When you merge a company, it's going to be like when Microsoft merges with, or Blizzard merges, or Activision Blizzard merges with Microsoft. A lot of people that are going to be part of this merger is going to be fired or let go or freeload. That's just the way it's going to be. Our golden parachutes are being asked to resign. And Microsoft's going to put those teams in place for those companies. They say, Phil Spencer says he's not going to touch those companies, but he will. That's just the way they are. Anyway, this video has gone on too long. I just wanted to give my opinion on the matter of Vince McMahon resigning. I think, it's good for business. I've said this all along. I think TKO doesn't want the black eyes. They don't want to have this in the papers and the dirt sheets. They want to have positive. Nick Khan has said he wanted positive. And I think if you're going forward as a company, you got to trim the fat. You got to get rid of the viruses of the world. And right now, Vince McMahon's a liability. And I just think, going forward with this new merger and this new endeavor, you have to get rid of, you just have to get rid of the bloat. You have to get rid of the fat. You have to trim it off. And Vince has got to go. And unfortunately, that's just business for you. And it's happened in a lot of businesses where, CEOs have had to be fired or resign. Look at Steve Jobs. Look at, eventually Bill Gates. When you get too ahead of yourselves, and a lot of things are going to come out about Vince McMahon that are going to make us roll our eyes. This is just the first stop of it. And they said this when he retired. He should have stayed retired. He should have let the company sell itself, make his money, and move on. And I know a lot of people are going to tell me, oh, Vince McMahon is WWE. But again, eventually he was going to die anyway. He says he's going to live until like 120. I highly doubt that. With all the back surgeries and all the surgeries he's going through, I don't think he's going to, be on this earth very much longer. Again, like I said, I don't think we're going to have Vince McMahon very much longer. He doesn't look well. He looks feeble. And two, he looks he doesn't look healthy. And that's just my personal opinion on that. And again, I want to see WWE succeed, and they are succeeding with these new deals and possibly signing new wrestlers in and clearing out, the bank to make this happen. But at the end of the day, you got to get rid of the virus. You got to get rid of the liability. You got to get rid of the problems. And Vince McMahon's a problem. And if that's the meeting they had last week on how they're going to go with it, Vince McMahon's making the right steps. He was there at the, New York Stock Exchange. He's doing the, appearances. He's going to probably do some more appearances and then probably resign. And I think, it's good for what's going on with TKO. I've honestly said that. Anyway, my name is Rev Sauce. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.